Eusine, the legend hunting adventurer on a quest which he ultimately failed in. First introduced in Pokemon Crystal all the way back in 2000, he was on the hunt for the legendary beast Suicune, hoping one day he can get a glimpse or even be the one to catch it. Now for those who have not played this game, Pokemon Crystal is the usual Gold and Silver adventure with his quest added in. Sadly, Eusine has not been seen again in a Pokemon game since, okay, apart from the remakes, but we did get to see him in the anime, the manga, and even in Pokemon Generation series which came out a few years ago. Recently I've seen a few videos of can you beat Pokemon as this person and as that person, and not want to miss anything, I want to have a go. So for this adventure I'll be taking on Soul Silver and trying to beat the game as Eusine. I imagine some people will be looking at this going, well, why aren't you just doing it on Crystal? Well, there's two reasons for this. The graphics looked much nicer, and I've also just finished the gameplay for a Natu Crystal run, so I felt I needed a change in game. So for the rules, these are pretty much the standard rules I follow, along with some tweaks. So for those who are new to the channel, I can only use Eusine's team in battle, which is Drowsy, Haunter and Electrode. Only held items are allowed, no items can be used in battle, no glitches and no trades. And for those who are new to the channel, welcome, and if you want to become a member of my HA Council, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and I'll do my best to get back in touch. Can we take this beast hunting adventure to glory? Well, let's find out. We start the game as Eusine and get our free gifts from my mum, who is clearly too close for comfort. With my mummy complex now in place, I go meet Professor Elm and get asked to see Mr. Pokemon for some reason, and get a choice of Pokemon to take with me. I take the almighty Drowsy and decide to call him Arnold. Okay, I will be honest, I gave him the wrong name here and was meant to call him Arthur after the kids TV show, but I'd realised I'd messed up 10 minutes later, but I could not be bothered and just went with it. So we start our adventure and oh my god, you are so creepy. Armed only with Pound and Hypnosis, I start to feel this is going to be a long journey. We get the sweaty trainers from the old tour guide and get told off for just walking past this guy's house without saying hello. I'm sorry, I did not realise I had to go past random strangers' houses and say hello. I'm sure society tells us not to talk to strangers, just saying. We meet Mr. Pokemon and also Professor Oak, who gives me the Pokédex, forcing me into child labour and to do his work for him. Like, what happens if you decide, nope, don't want to do that? No interest in this at all. However, me complaining means nothing and he just walks off. I get a phone call from Professor Elm to come back where there's an emergency at the lab, and I meet the random red-headed trainer which he puts us in battle. He sends out. With that out of the way, we get to the lab and are accused by the police of being the culprit. Now, I brought this up before and commented that this is horrendous policing, but why has Professor Elm not piped up and said, nah mate, it clearly wasn't him? I tell the police that the red-headed boy's name is Jake M, and I named him after my good friend Jake McCauley. He'll probably hate me for this, but oh well sunshine, just go drink a beer. We get told to complete the Pokemon League Challenge and then get a crash course of catching Pokemon by Chris. Yeah, that's her name. Never even knew this and had to Google it. Our first trainer battle is against the little bugger Joey, who we smash with ease, but also we gain Confusion, which is a decent stab move at this point in the game. However, I then tackle the final boss of the whole game, the godlike Bongzilla. I managed to survive the battle and carry on north. I can now obtain the rest of my crew, so I obtain a Voltorb and call him Bally. The only problem with him is that he only knows the move Charge, which powers up its special defense, so he has no physical moves, which is a right pain. I enter my first dungeon of the game, that being Sprout Tower, and don't really have much trouble here, and it's a good opportunity to level up my team. But we also need to catch the last member of the group, a Ghastly, which I call Casper. Casper is armed with Lick and Hypnosis, but I know it gets much better moves later on. We witness the Elder shouting at Jake for treating his Pokemon like tools of war. Personally, I always thought Pokemon was a war, so I don't really see the problem with Jake's methods. I face the Elder myself and he's not much of a challenge, and he grants us Flash for our troubles. With this done, the first gym is now open and up to the skies we go. I get through the underlings and make it to Faulkner, who is using Daddy's Pokemon. It is Pidgey vs Arnold, which goes straight down. Next is the Pidgeotto, and I get it to sleep very quickly, but it just wakes up just as quickly. I manage to get it to sleep again, and this time it does stay asleep enough for me to finish it off. This could have been a right pain in the arse because the rest of the team couldn't do anything, and Pidgeotto also has Roost. With this done, we're able to go south and Bally gets to level 8, which means it obtains Sonic Boom, which is a set 20 HP damage. Now obtaining this almighty weapon, we go through the Union Cave, and with having Sonic Boom, it's destroying anything that comes against it, as there is nothing that can withstand a Sonic Boom. We arrive in Azalea Town to see a Team Rocket member thud a member of the public. Like what is a thud? Like, what action is needed to make a thud sound? Like something from Adam West Batman days? I meet Kirk, who's pissed off with Team Rocket, and he falls down a well and hurts his back, and rather than ring the police to sort things out, he leaves it in the hands of me, Eusine, a man he's barely met to save the Slowpokes. I enter the Slowpoke well and clear house pretty quickly and meet the Team Rocket member Proton. Proton is armed with a Zubat which goes down in 1, and its coughing does survive the first blow, but not the second. Yeah, Team Rocket are not going to like facing Arnold this adventure. Kirk appears after he's clearly eaten a Senzu bean to recover from what can only be a broken back, and offers us the usual ball-touching services, which I kindly refuse. It is time for the next gym, and I make my way straight for Bugsy. Now normally I've slagged off Bugsy for being the worst trainer in the game, but this time I was concerned because of his Scyther, who's going to be a huge threat for me. The battle starts with Bugsy using his top gun, so I start with Bally, and one U-turn nearly wipes it out, and it's cleared up by Metapod. Casper gets rid of the Metapod, so I use Curse to try and do some damage to the Scyther. Another U-turn takes out Casper, and then finally finishes off Drowsy in 1 as well. I tried again and started with Ghastly, but Scyther is still faster. I do manage to get her to sleep and curse it, but the Scyther has to slay asleep for this to work. I nearly finish it, but then a super potion is thrown at it and a U-turn does the rest. It takes a few attempts to get anywhere due to the power of the Scyther, and I never actually struggled on this battle before. Eventually the bladed bug stays asleep long enough for me to finish it off. Once it's out the way, the rest of the battle is a breeze. And now I've done that, it's time to fight Jake and give him a spanking. It's Ghastly v Ghastly and mine comes out on top. Having Hypnosis is an absolute godsend. Zubat is taken out by Bally. Devil's now evolved, but he can't do anything against Sonic Boom. It then clicked, I should have called Bally Guile. Oh, missed a trick there, haven't I? Bye bye Jake, try again another day. I head into the Elix Forest and quickly do the far-fetched nonsense to get cut. Having caught a Bellsprout earlier, I now have my first slave to help me get through this killer tree. I ask the forest god Celebi for guidance and it tells me to go north. Either that or I'm hearing voices. Casper's also learnt Nightshade, which gives it a decent attack with the damage output is based on its level. I arrive in Goldenrod City and oh boy, this is the gym we all fear. It is the reason that we either hate or eat cows. If you don't hate cows, then obviously you have not been to Goldenrod City. I get the radio card and meet with a goddess of death and make my way to battle. I beat the miners with ease, luring me into a false sense of security. I have a ghost, I have an electric ball, and I have a creepy ass aardvark. But I have heart, but will that be enough? Bally takes on Clefairy and manages to take it out, but it wasn't easy. However, the cow just rips it up and then finishes off the rest of the team. Miltank Stomp is so powerful and wipes most of my Pokemon in 1. I then started to think, well, Bally has rollout, so let's see if that can help. And I find out that it does, and I can nearly get rid of the Miltank with it. The rest of the match didn't work, but it got me thinking that this was the way forward. I lose Bally, then use Casper to get a curse on straight away, but I need to use 2 Hypnosises because the cow has a Lumberry. Of course it does. This then works as the curse does its job while it sleeps to its death. My god, I'm so glad that was over, but it's not the end of our struggles. I went to the Flower Lady and get given the squirty bottle, and I go for a stroll in the park and then we meet the Shuduwudu, and guess what I had to do to the thing? Let me know in the comments below. I decide to catch it and use it for another HM slave because I will need a few of these as the quest continues. I arrive in Ecruteak City and go to the home of the Kimono Girls and battle the Grunt who is clearly getting a bit too handsy. By beating him I get the TM for Surf off some old guy who just happened to have it. I next go to the Burnt Tower to start the journey I have lived my life to complete. I look down and there it is, Suicune. I have searched so long to find you. However, when we arrive we meet an imposter, someone else who calls himself Eusine, who mirrors my quest and my ambitions. I cannot live this way, I must beat him, I cannot let him win, I can't. However, before we get down the stairs again, Jake has appeared and he's also boasting that the beasts are meant for him. Well, let's see about that. Ghastly starts again and I wipe it out with Arnold. I use Bally to take out the bat and once again it takes out Bayleaf. Casper finishes the job on the Magnemite and that is Jake smashed in mere minutes. I finally come face to face with the 3 legends and they do a runner, but not before Suicune gets a bit too close and has a good sniff of my nether regions and then runs off. The imposter comes down and I think he has had a little wee as there is a horrible stench in the air. It's time for the gym that I fear the most, and this is Morty. No, not that one. This one. This is due to the fact that his ghost is super effective to 2 of my Pokemon. I know what you're thinking, but aren't you super effective against them? Yes, this is true. However, his Gengar will be faster and stronger than both of my guys, and this is what makes it so hard. I get rid of the Ghastly straight away. I then lose Bally to the Haunter, which means Casper's got to clear up. I managed to get to Gengar with Ghastly, but the problem is it is faster and can wipe me out in 1, and I know I'm screwed. I have to go level up outside, so I fight every trainer that I can and even go to the next city to do so. Whilst battling, I get Casper to evolve into Haunter, which adds extra power and pace. I then come across Entei, and just for giggles I threw a ball at it, but it ran away. After this battle is done, it is time for me to climb a lighthouse and beat up as many people as I can. This becomes cannon fodder for Bally who's having a blast. We meet Jasmine and a slave in the tower, and I get asked to get the special medicine. Sorry, are you paying me for this? Have you called the doctor? Do you have insurance to cover this? Again, there's so many questions on this issue. I thought I could cross the island and come back to Morty later, but I needed the badge for the Pokemon to use Surf. Hang on, this makes no sense. Sorry, Corsola, I'm not allowed to sit on you until you see a badge from Morty. Does the badge grant magical powers that stop you being able to complete your core function in life? Can anyone explain this to me in the comments? Because, okay, I get the game mechanics and the reasons why. I'm just wondering, is there anything in the lore that stops this from happening? I went back to Morty with the extra power that I obtained, and I used Balli's charge beam to power up its special attack, and I'm able to remove Gengar with all that power. Once this is done, the rest of the battle is a breeze. I honestly didn't think that this is the way it would play out, but hey ho, it's done. With the badge now giving my Corsola magic powers, I'm able to cross the water for the first time and fight all those swimming in the water. I've always laughed at the idea of these water battles. Like, imagine using Raiden. Trainer uses Raiden. Raiden sank. Literally, it makes no sense. Gaming never change. On the water, Balli evolved into Electrode, which means this thing is now so quick. I arrive in Cinewood City and pick up the medication straight away, as I always forget to pick this up. I've also picked up a Farfetch beforehand, as again, I always forget, which means I need to surf back instead of flying. I head north and witness the beauty of Suicune once again. You will be on my team someday, sir. The imposter then turns up and demands to know why I'm so special, so we end up having a match, and when he's brought exactly the same team as me. It starts Drowsy versus Arnold, and my Drowsy comes on top. He gets rid of Haunter like a boss as well. Casper is then able to remove his Electrode to sort out this imposter. With his spirit crushed, I head back, and I enter the fighting gym and lift up the waterfall to fight Chuck. I really wasn't worried about this fight due to Chuck's typing and lack of speed. Casper uses Confuse Ray and Nightshade to do a lot of damage to Primate before falling. Arnold, however, now has Psybeam and finishes it, but it can't finish the Polygraph. But let's be honest, there is no way that Electrode was losing to the Polygraph. That was one of the easiest ones I've done so far. I head back to the lighthouse and heal up the injured slave, which sends Jasmine back to think about the terror that she's been causing. I enter her gym not worried about this due to the fact I could probably put everything to sleep. I use Casper to put the Magnemite to sleep and then just Nightshade it to death. The second one comes out and the same thing happens as well. Steelix is put to sleep and I use Curse to seal the deal, and again that was a very easy one. Real pace is now being made, so I head east of Equity City where we come across the beautiful Suicune yet again. The imposter makes a quick appearance as well as he's getting nowhere in his quest. I arrive in Mahogany Town where the gym door is closed and we head towards the Lake of Rage, where we had to fight the almost as beautiful Red Gyarados. Now, as you can imagine, this goes down extremely easy because of it being 4 times weak to electric. At the water, good old Lance comes to applaud me for my efforts, then asks me for help stopping the mysterious signal. This resulted in nearly committing murder and breaking and entering, but it's something I am very comfortable with. We break in and stop the high-tech security system, get hold of the 2 codes, and we meet Petrel, who I just hate. Arnold gets rid of his bat, and Balli removes the rat. And his poison bowl. Easy peasy. After beating him, we chase around his Murkrow, who can also talk. Now, I got told through the comments on a previous video that crows can also talk. Who knew? I chase the thing all the way to the door where it magically opens, through to the power generator where we get abused by Ariana, who is clearly getting too close to me, and Lance wants to join the party as well. This battle's an absolute joke, and the battle is a complete waste of my time. Lance then tells me we need to knock out the Electrode because there's no off switch. No, there will be, you're just not looking hard enough. Like, what happens if they need to check something, or there's a malfunction? Do they need to KO all the Electrodes at the same time? How about call an electrician if you're unsure, not just kill the wildlife? However, I decide to get involved and commit crimes against Balli's own kind to stop the signal. Now this is done, I head to the gym and fly through all the way to Bryce. This was a gym I wasn't really worried about. This is because of the speed I possess and the typing was good for Balli. I start the battle against Seal, who I was able to get rid of before switching to Casper to get rid of the Piloswine with a Shadow Ball. The Electrode then finishes off the Dugong. That's another easy battle for the team. I step out of the freezer and into the light and get called by Professor Elm to get my arse to Goldenrod. I already know what's going on, so I head into the underground tunnel, got my new threads, and started cracking skulls in the radio tower. I battle my way up until we get to that idiot Petrel again. Look, this battle is another joke, and I just Shadow Ball everything. God, I hate you, Petrel. He gives me the keycard for some reason and even tells me where to go. Look, your defense attorney will be hating you right now for how easy you just folded. I went back to the underground tunnel where we are stopped at the worst possible moment by Jake, who's struggling to find the answers within himself. I start with Balli versus Golbat and it removes it in ease. Sneasel falls in 2 and also he gets rid of the Magnemite. Meganium takes out Balli, but Casper can get rid of it and it's Haunter. Honestly, a numpty, what a terrible time for a battle. He goes off to think about what has just happened and I save the chairman, who gives me a keycard to go further in the tower. Ugh. I go back in the tower, but now I've got to fight the admins. First up is Proton, who again is a waste of my time, and farting takes more effort. Next is Ariana, who again offers me absolutely nothing. Honestly, get better henchmen, Team Rocket, these are shocking. Finally, it's Archer. Now, having fought this guy before in other challenges, I was worried about this, and this is because of the Dark Pokemon. They have the potential to ruin this whole run. They can beat Haunter and Drowsy with ease, and they really can't fight back. Archer starts with Houndour, who I finish it, but the Houndoom is faster and gets rid of the friendly ghost. Balli misses the crucial Thunder and is taken out, and Arnold can do nothing here. I try again, and this time the second Thunder does hit to take away the Houndoom. It does take Arnold to get rid of the coughing, but that's the big boss out the way. Archer disbands Team Rocket in front of my eyes, and the radio chairman gives me the Silver Wing. I wonder what that's for. Now, as I've beaten Team Rocket single-handedly on my own, I decided to go reward myself with some cave exploring. Now, I've always thought about this. How does this work? An ice cavern just sitting here? Like, how is that biologically possible? If someone can explain this, please let me know and I will listen. We arrive at the physically impossible cave and head straight for Claire. Claire is a right pain in the backside, and I have to be honest, I don't think I've faced anyone more consistently difficult than her. First up is a Gyarados, which is the easiest out of the lot because it goes down in one thunder. The Dragonairs, however, are hard. This is because they use bloody thunder waves, which makes it very difficult. Casper tries but fails, and it's left to Arnold, who does get rid of the Dragonair, but it then is wiped out next with ease. It all comes down to if I can beat the two Dragonairs without getting paralysed, as this cripples the team as it is first choice of move. It takes so many attempts, but I need the planets to align for me to get what I needed. I also found out that Electrode has to survive because Kingdra is faster than Haunter and can take it out in one. I do finally get to the Kingdra and it misses a Hydro Pump, which means the win will be mine due to a mixture of Curse, Shadow Ball and Confuse Ray. My god, I hate her so much. And like Whitney, she moans and makes me do something else before giving me the badge. I head to the gym behind the cave and meet 3 random old men who judge about how great I am, which leaves Claire shocked and apologises. Let this be a lesson to everyone. Every loss is a lesson and always remain humble in defeat. I'm granted the 8th badge and my league journey is complete. I get a phone call from Professor Elm who offers me to come back to the lab and gives me a Master Ball for all my troubles. Like, when the hell did you get that? I could have used that on Suicune, you numpty. The next request is to go back to the Kimono Girls, which I forgot about. Ugh, I always do. I hate this bit, I really do. To fight the 5 evolutions without a break is incredibly difficult without coverage, so I had to do it over and over and over again. Soon I would get through one Eevee after another, but then fail on the next. Eventually, I got through the Vaporeon and it was done. Never give up, people. Seeing how much I'd worked, the Kimono Girls told me to go to the Whirlpool Islands to fight their god. After investigating the islands, I make it to the bottom and a big waterfall where the girls do their dance. This summons the mighty Lugia, who I'll be honest, I have always loved. Its design is fantastic and its typing unique. However, in this story there is only one place for a legendary Pokemon, so I removed it from this land. I will see you again one day, my friend. With nothing left to stop me now, I went east from my hometown and battled through Victory Road. I decided that I'll make my team around level 50 and go into the final battles with these levels and the tools that I'd found. First, however, there was one last battle against Mr. Jake McCauley. Let's fight to the death, dear friend. Arnold loses straight away to Sneasel, leaving Casper to clean up. Kadabra and Haunter pose no threat to my Ghost. I then switch into Bawly to get rid of the Golbat. The Meganium is also taken out and Bawly learns Explosion, which is great, so I use it straight away for good measure. Casper's able to clean up and get the win, and Jake goes to cry off and go play for his Weedle for the rest of the night. If you wait long enough, you may use String Shot. I make it to the Indigo Plateau, and let's be honest, if someone turned up with a Drowsy, a Haunter and Electrode, you'd be thinking that they've snuck in for sure. I look at the challenges ahead, and I know in 5 matches I will achieve glory, and my name Eusine will be in the stars forever. First is the threatening Will. This one I wasn't worried about at all. Casper went in and Shadow Balled everything to death. Xatu, Jinx, Slowbro, Xatu and Executor all went down with ease. Kogo, I actually wrote Kogo. Koga is next. So I send out Arnold against Adrios and I psychic it to death. I put a nasty plot against Fortress and then just put it to sleep. I'm able to get the special attack and take it out, then Muck, then Crobat and then Venomoth. Good boy, Arnold. Good boy. Third is the mighty Bruno, so I send in Arnold again, who gets rid of Hitmontop and the Rock Snake, but it can't take out the Machamp. So I bring in Casper, who gets rid of it and Hitmonlee. Hitmonchan manages to freeze Casper, which means Bawly has to do the rest, but so far, so good. But now the one I was worried about, Karen and her dark types. Umbreon starts against Casper, and I put it to sleep and curse it and confuse it and then just get out of there. I let the curse do its job and gets rid of it. Bawly gets rid of Murkrow and One Thunder, and then I go Boom Boom against Houndoom, and then the main threat is gone. The big battle is next, Haunter versus Gengar, and because Casper is faster, he kills its elder kin in one. Finally, it's Vileplume, and it falls back to Arnold to be the hero in this story. With the Elite Four done, it's time for the champion, everyone's favourite, Lance. Again, its Gyarados is not an issue and can be taken out in one. The first Dragonite comes out, so I go Boom Boom, but can't take it out. Thankfully, Casper is fast enough to do the rest, but the problem I'm having is that Aerodactyl is faster and can hit hard. I do remove it, and before I die I put Charizard to sleep and curse it. Sadly, it wakes up and takes out poor Arnold. Now it takes a long time to get anywhere in this battle, but I know I'm in a losing place because of the fact that Aerodactyl is faster than Haunter. This means the whole battle comes down to a huge amount of chance and it takes too many attempts, so I start getting wound up. I then remember I'd collected all the rare candies available to this point in case this happened, and I used them all on Casper. With the extra levels, this battle becomes a lot different. Haunter can get rid of Aerodactyl, Charizard and the final Dragonite to make me the king of the world. And I've done it. I honestly didn't think I'd be able to complete the Lance match, but I did. I wanted to give up and I was so angry with myself that I nearly did give up, but I'm so happy this was done. But as we all know, there's a lot more to do. We start back in my room and get told by Professor Elm to go meet Professor Oak at Olivine City. Professor Oak tells me to go to Kanto and challenge the big boys over there, and I decide to take the request. I travel on the SS Anne, and whilst there, whip a lazy sailor into shape and chase a little girl around, which sounds a little bit creepy. The ship lands at Vermilion City, and whilst walking off the dock we see Suicune yet again, and he's followed me to Kanto wanting my affection. He runs off again, but I know I'm going to see him soon, and I know where I need to go, so first I make my way east to Fuchsia City to continue to the next point of the Suicune test, where we see it run away for the final time. For the next section, I head straight to the power point east of Cerulean City and complete the quest to return the part, which honestly just annoys me and bores me to tears, but it must be done. With the power restored, I go disturb Misty's date and she calls me a pest. Honestly, I think the word you're looking for is perv, but now she wants a battle, so I head to the swimming pool and know this is going to be quite easy. Bally smashes Golduck, and then I switch into Casper to fight the Quagsire, and it's able to remove it with ease. Her trusty Starmie steps up, and due to having the speed over Casper, it took it out. But this isn't a problem for Bally, who finishes it in one thunder. Lapras is last, and Misty can't hope with my electric power, which gets me my first Kanto badge. With Misty done, we're about ready to catch my prize. I head back to where Misty's date was, and there it is, Suicune in all its glory. The imposter turned up and admitted defeat. He recognised me as the real Eusine, and Suicune was ready for the greatest battle ever, so I threw a Master Ball at him. I needed a name that would spread fear into the hearts of men, but also fit into its beauty, and after thinking long and hard, I called it Cat Dog, because I honestly don't know if this thing's a cat or a dog. Personally, I think it's a dog, but let me know in the comments what you all think. Let's start a comment war. With this in hand, I get its level up straight away, so it can be the same footing as the rest of the team. And with this done, it's time to go after the Kanto gym leaders. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the usual, so it's time for a montage. Okay, I'm not leaving Blue out because I love Blue, so let's go through it. First is Executor, who is taken out by the Haunter. I switch into Cat Dog, who gets rid of the Arcanine and the Raiden. Casper comes back in to get rid of the Machamp with a critical hit. I sacrifice Arnold against the Gyarados as I do not want to risk Bally being knocked out. The trick works as Bally takes out the Liquid Snake and Pidgeot, which means I've beaten the mighty Blue first time. I am sorry friend, but I will see you again soon. And with that I've obtained all the Kanto badges and have become somewhat of a god. I then get summoned to Professor Oak, where he gives me permission to go through to Mount Silver so I can give his old prodigy a whipping. Looking at the team, I know their levels are not enough, so I did some major grinding to get them all level 80. Red's lowest level Pokemon is Lapras' level 80, so I thought this would be a fair level to get them all to. I slog through the caves and weather to arrive at the top where we come face to face with the toughest badass of them all, Red. I start off with Casper, who is outsped by Pikachu and it's taken out by 1 Volt Tackle, which is not good. Bally misses the Thunders and is taken out. Arnold tries to get the kill but is taken out by Volt Tackle as well. Suicune stands no chance against the little electric mouse. This means I have to start Bally against Pikachu, and I manage to get rid of it with an explosion, but his Snorlax is such a beast and it gets rid of Casper and Arnold, and there's no way Cat Dog can do this alone. I spent ages trying to get anywhere against Red, and it takes me a while to even get back to Lapras. I do get a run where Blastoise comes out to play and Cat Dog is able to get rid of it, but out comes Venusaur and my only hope was to freeze it. This doesn't happen and I get wiped out. And this has taken ages and I realised it's not working, so I decided to go back and get Cat Dog to relearn Calm Mind whilst also picking up the TM for rest. I pick up the leftovers item and feel that this is all I need to beat the mighty Red. With my new plan of attack I tried again. Unfortunately it pretty much went the same way, with Cat Dog being alone against the world. Snorlax ended up falling to hail damage, but the Venusaur is next. Now whilst fighting the Snorlax, Cat Dog did use 1 Calm Mind, so I'm able to finish the Venusaur on 2 Blizzards, which are 100% accuracy in the hail. I then use Rest against Lapras to get my health back while it body slams me. When I wake up I use a Calm Mind and then rest again. The plan was to beef myself up and rest when safe. Things got even easier when the Lapras started slamming me and then started using Psychic, which was doing nothing. This meant I could easily get to max special attack and special defense, and I was an absolute powerhouse. I surfed Lapras out of existence, Charizard offered me nothing and fell in 1. The last Pokemon to face me in this challenge was Blastoise, and it only took me 2 serves to send Red whimpering off. And with that, Eusine and CatDog have now become immortalised in the stars. The quest of Eusine and CatDog is over, and I've really enjoyed this one, but in 3 weeks' time I hopefully will have part 2 of the Emerald Kaizo run. As I said at the beginning, if you do like all this content, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, it does really help. But until then, I've been Eusine, I mean HBT, and this has been CatDog. Bye bye.